I've been wanting to do this tutorial for a while, and with Propellerheads announcing Reason 6 today, I figured that this is probably a good time to throw it together. Reason 6 incorporates record into the program, so there's not going to be any record anymore, just be Reason again. Reason users without record might want to think about picking it up right now. The upgrade cost for Reason users only to upgrade from Reason 5 to Reason 6 is going to be like $170 US, and the cost of record for Reason users is also $170. And if you have purchased record after July 1st, which it's after July 1st already, the upgrade cost is waived. So it's you can get started with record now and start messing around with it and learn how to use some of the features in it. And whenever Reason 6 comes out, you'll be ready to roll. So anyway, I don't do much recording. I'm not set up for it here. It's just too much background noise in this room. I did buy record because, well, the mixer. I just had to have this thing here. This mixer is a reason to have record, regardless of whether you use anything else at all. It just adds so much of a modern feature over top of the old 14:2 mixer. So let me just show you a couple of things. If you create any device, say create a Kong, it automatically adds this mix channel here. You can see on the back how it's wired up. The main out goes into the mix channel, which adds a strip to the big mixer over here for every mix channel you add to the rack. And I used Kong in this example for a specific reason. If you disconnect the Kong there, you can create another mix channel and create another mix channel. And then if you take something like this first one, wire it back up here. If I hadn't have disconnected it, the mix channels would have shown up below, because a device connected to a mix channel they're stuck together. I'll show you here in a second. So you connect up this one to here and this one to here, and yeah. So if I hadn't have disconnected it and I would have created another mix channel, it would have done this. It would have gone down below, and you can't move it in between. It's the devices connected to a mix channel are act like one device. So so the reason I did that is you probably have done this with like the 6:2 mixer inside a combinator or whatever, but it has the additional benefit of actually being up on. You can add compression or whatever through the big mixer here. So if you take drum 1, you hit that and send out to 3 and 4, and then pick drum 2 here and send out to 5 and 6, and send this one over to 7, 8. I can't record mic and sound from the program at the same time unless I send it through my monitors and I get feedback into the mic. So like I said, I'm not set up for really recording here, so I can't play any drums. But just to do something here, we can rename Kong drums, and you can see all the mix channels end up with drums there. And if you would name something like, you do this one like kick, this one like snare, and let's say this one is hat. So you would have those, and then you can name, even though the mix channels got named automatically, you could still go and rename them yourself. So you could put your kick after that, snare there, and hat there. So you would have each of the outs going up there. I can just throw something simple in here. Put the hi-hat there, put the snare there, and put the bass drum there. As I said, you can't hear it, but you can see the output up here for the kick drum. Snare shows up on that strip, and hat's down there. And you could even do something like take this pad here and assign it there, so you can have your 2 hats, and on this one make it an open, so you can have it like that. So one trigger's open, one trigger's closed, and then up on the up here, you can still see, you can see the output down there. So the another thing it has is effect send. You can create a send effect, and it limits the devices to things you would actually use as a send effect. Like you wouldn't use a Thor as a send effect, but so you just want to say you want to have global reverb, so that shows up down there. If you go back down to the rack, you can see a reverb has been created. You could just pick whatever effect you want, and everything would be going through the reverb that you add to send one. See the reverb there, send one, so that would send it to it, that would send it to it, and that would send it to it. So now my drums are all within the same reverb space. One other thing I like to do is not use just this for the reverb for the effect return, but instead go to the rack, flip it around here, and you can see the effect send and effect return. If you disconnect the return and instead create another mix channel, you can take and return your effect into the mix channel, and then if you go up to the mixer, you can see that the reverb is being returned there. So you can just call this master reverb, and you can see it's there, and you can then control the reverb with one slider, but then you also get all the additional abilities for processing and everything on it, and you can easily you can mute it to remove the effect from your current setup, or just so you can hear the instruments without the effect on them. One last thing I'll show is we'll just create something that has a single output. Let's go with a Thor. I created the Thor. It automatically created its mix channel. People have gotten into the habit of creating a combinator that holds everything. You put the Thor in it. You put any of the effects that you want to send through it, all within a single combinator. If the instrument you're using only is a single instrument, a single synth, a single device that doesn't need to receive the MIDI, you don't need multiple devices receiving the same MIDI input. Like you could in a combinator, you could have two Thors and have them both being driven by the same notes. If you're only going to have a single Thor instance receiving the notes and its output going through effects, a combinator would make it nice and neat, but isn't really doing anything other than keeping the pieces together. If you're just looking to keep the pieces together, you can use them as insert effects rather than throwing them into the combinator. So in this case, I could add a foldback distortion and a phaser. And if you look how it's wired up now, the Thor is going up into the mix channel. Then the insert effects are wired out of the send, and then one's wired into the next, and it's back up into it. So then the effects are just as if they would have been chained right after the Thor before the instrument input on the combinator. There's a few more advanced things you can do with the insert effects, but I'll get to those next time. So I hope you did learn something, and like I said, if you go and pick up Record now, you get it for the same price as what you would cost you for the upgrade to Reason 6, and then you get the Reason 6 upgrade for free when it's released in September. So have fun.